Kirsten, we just met here at COP29 and we had some interesting conversation about power, meeting at eye level and shared vulnerability, meeting at different cultures and indigenous populations. And what do you want to share today that is important for you?
Thank you, Lee. It's absolutely fantastic to meet you. Well, we met in a context of talking about coalitions and how they form and how they can form in such a way as to acknowledge that people coming into them are often carrying either explicitly or tacitly different relationships with their own power in that relationship or in that partnership. And how do you explicitly acknowledge that and see that and do something about it? And that led to a conversation around, in any case, in the process of understanding and negotiating what is effectively a profound transition in the human design for life. How do we much more explicitly build into that and acknowledge how we show up holistically, how we show up in full as humans, how we embody our confidence, our status, our ability to walk into a room and engage with people, our willingness to understand and create spaces of trust and vulnerability instantly or over long terms. How do we do that culturally, socially, emotionally, physically? And much of that is not explicit in the process of transformation, and a lot of it is being kind of head up, trying to focus on technical solutions, but not really looking at what is the human experience in change as a design principle. So I'm particularly pleased to have been part of a conversation here on progressing the idea of a global citizens assembly and noticing that there is an explicit call from the Brazilian government, Brazilian participants in that, for making this a space and a context for vulnerability to show up, for people to connect to each other through a sense of belonging, through a sense of care, through a sense of purpose.
Yeah. And this really interests me as a somatic expert. I work a lot with how belonging is a somatic experience.
Yeah.
So if we are dissociated from our body, which often is connected to trauma and how we're being treated, we also experience that we don't belong in a context. And then we're not going to put our voice out. So how can we use this understanding of vulnerability and emotional connection to create belonging, so that people feel not only that they are told to get their voice out because they are, should represent, but they emotionally feel like I'm validated.
Open up to the whole
exactly.
Literally physically open up.
And you feel like, oh wow, I'm seen, I'm important.
Yeah.
And how also that connects to what we first talked about, and how status is not only something that is connected to gender and race and experience, but it's something within each individual person. And only when we can perceive ourselves, we can understand how I'm perceived when I walk into a space, or how is my voice heard differently from another person. Not only because of those contexts on the outside, but me individually, and how we can bring that to leaders in communities of that self-perception. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Hope to see more.